Thank you for joining us for this episode of Comply on the Fly with M3 and Karen B. Comply on the Fly is your trusted weekly resource for reliable insight and quick answers on common employee benefits compliance questions. Please note, this podcast and the contents herein do not constitute legal advice. Seek the advice of counsel for any employee benefits compliance-related guidance or strategy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen B., and the Comply on the Fly question of the week is, what is Section 105H non-discrimination testing, and does it apply to me? Non-discrimination requirements and testing can be very confusing. There are several non-discrimination requirements that may apply to you. But for our purposes today, we are talking about Section 105H of the Internal Revenue Code. So the very first thing that is very important to understand is that the application of these non-discrimination requirements under 105H are applicable to self-insured or self-funded health plans. These requirements are different than Section 125 non-discrimination requirements, which apply to your Section 125 plan, which of course is the pre-tax premium and FSA plan. If you only have fully insured health plans, these requirements do not apply to you. At one time, under the ACA or Affordable Care Act, the agencies were going to set forth non-discrimination rules for fully insured plans, but that was put on hold in 2012, and nothing has been released on that to date. So, what is 105H? The key concept is that the self-funded medical benefit plan must not discriminate in favor of highly compensated employees with respect to two things: with respect to eligibility to participate and the benefits provided under the plan. In terms of eligibility, a plan discriminates as to eligibility unless it benefits 70% or more of all employees, or 80% or more of all employees eligible to benefit under the plan, if 70% or more of all employees are eligible to benefit under the plan, or a group of employees described in a certain section of the Internal Revenue Code that is found to be non-discriminatory in terms of its classification. For the eligibility test, excludable employees are any employees who have not completed 3 years of service, part-time employees whose customary weekly employment is less than 35 hours, employees covered by a collective bargaining agreement, and non-resident aliens. So that, in a nutshell, is the eligibility test. There is also a benefits test. And basically, the plan will not discriminate as to benefits if the type and amount of benefits available to highly compensated participants and their dependents are also available on the same basis for all other participants and their dependents. This test is applied by looking at available benefits rather than actual benefit payments under the plans. So you may be wondering, for purposes of this test, what is a highly compensated employee? A highly compensated employee meets one of these tests: is one of the 5 highest paid officers of the employer, is a shareholder who owns directly or indirectly more than 10% in value of the employer's stock, or is in the top 25% of the highest paid employees. So you may be wondering, how is this testing done? Typically, your medical plan third-party administrator, or TPA, may offer this service. In addition, your accounting firm or tax professional may be able to do the testing. And there are also independent vendors that offer testing services as well. So, what happens if the plan is found to be discriminatory? All or part of the medical benefits paid for the benefit of a highly compensated employee will become taxable to that employee. Not a great result, especially for those highly compensated who will now be taxed. So it is best to make sure you are in compliance with Section 105H if you have a self-funded health plan, including HRAs. And that is your Comply on the Fly question of the week. Thanks for tuning in.
What's on your mind? If you have a pressing compliance question, send it to askkarenb@m3ins.com. We'll do our best to cover it in an upcoming episode. You can now follow and subscribe to Comply on the Fly on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Make sure to tune in next week and encourage others to join us.